nothing changes.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome into the channel. You guys will see this probably the 1st of February 2022. And now that we are officially a month into the year, I think I'm seeing a lot more posts and a lot more Facebook groups and freaking out on Instagram over the taxes and the $600 IRS change. So I wanted to cover it. I made a video about it, obviously, before the year started and right as we started the year kind of covering this. But I wanted to dispel some of the myths and some of the truths and falsehoods and correct information about this here in this short video. Two things. One, full disclaimer, I'm not a CPA, I'm not a licensed accountant or legal financial attorney. I can't give you official advice. I can just tell you what I know in my experience. Please seek out the help of one of those if you desperately need it. In fact, I will link one down below. It's Mark, Not Your Dad's CPA. He has an amazing tax academy for small business owners, which he has a $50 discount running on his CPA services for the academy down below. So that's there if you need one. And also, second little waiver and notice is if you could share this video across any of your Facebook groups or your Instagram channels or Twitters or TikToks or whatever, that would be fantastic because it's important that a lot of people get the correct information and not the wrong information. So with that, let's jump into it. And I have seen this on Facebook groups for resellers and on Facebook pages that the news puts out. I've seen it everywhere. So I know there are a ton of people that need this information. So as of January 1st, 2022, 31 days ago, and I'm going to start the whole backstory here for you guys. The federal 1099 tax reporting threshold was changed. So what that means is prior to this year, all of the sales that you did last year and every year before that, so that's the sales you're about to report for your taxes, you may have already started. If you did more than $20,000 and 200 transactions on any money transferring platform, eBay, Amazon, Poshmark, Mercari, the Venmo, Cash App, you were to receive a 1099, and that's $20,000 worth of goods and services. Personal payments do not count. So if you went to dinner with your family and you split the bill and you gave them they gave you a $40 payment on Venmo, that does not count. And they should have marked it friends and family. Now there are some apps that have that option, like PayPal has it. I know either Venmo or Cash App does. I use both of them, but not that often. And there are some that don't have that option, but you can always put it in the notes, like for pizza with mom or whatever, and that will suffice for an IRS situation, which we'll talk about in a second. So only your goods and services of items that you sold that were business transactions. Now, if you sold your personal item, let's say that I bought this shirt for $20, a couple years ago, and I decide to sell it, and I put it up and I sell it for $12, right? So obviously I sold it for less than I paid for it. That would be what is considered a personal item or a loss. And so in that event that happens, where you're selling off your personal items or goods, you're not selling it as a business item. You're not selling it as a piece of inventory. You're not making a profit. You're probably breaking even or losing on it. That amount of sale total can be deducted out of your gross total. So let's say that you did sell some stuff for business over the course of the year, right? And you sold $1,000 worth of stuff in business sales. And then you sold $100 worth of your personal individual items. And you get a 1099 that says $1,100. Well, when you report, you're supposed to report what matches the 1099. But in this case, if you have personal stuff that shows up on the 1099, it should not. But if it does, then you could just back that out and just report the $1,000 as business income. Because when you report to the IRS, it wants to know your business gross sales, not what you sold grandma's earrings to your sister for $20 because you like her, right? That doesn't count. So that is totally false that those items are taxable. Now, let's not confuse sales tax with federal tax. This $600 threshold is federal tax income. In other words, it's how much money you sold over the course of the year and how much money you made that the IRS is going to get a report of, so you will owe taxes on the income you made. Every time you sell something as a business or somebody buys something, when you go to McDonald's and get a burger or you go to Best Buy and buy a computer, you pay sales tax. sales tax, state sales tax, wherever you are, there are some exceptions, some states that don't have it. It's just part of a transaction, buying and selling. That has nothing to do with any of this. You're not being double or triple taxed. That's completely a moot point. State sales tax is what you pay on every transaction, every time you buy a movie ticket or a hamburger or whatever. That's always a thing. It's always been a thing. It'll always be a thing. That's it, right? This is federal tax only. So this year, when you hit $600, no matter how you hit it, no matter how many transactions, you are going to pay taxes on your profit. Now, let me make this clear. At the $600 limit, you're going to get a 1099 from wherever that platform is. And that's $600 per platform. So if you do $600 on eBay and $400 on Posh, you should only get one from eBay. If you do $600 on eBay and $6,000 on Posh, you should get one from each. So the $600 applies to each individual platform. And once you hit that $600, you're going to get that. Now, prior to this year, and contrary to popular belief, even if you didn't hit the $20,000, and even if you don't hit the $600 now, which is hard to do if you're being a business, you were required to report that income and pay taxes on any profit that you made. Now, the exception, of course, is if you have enough expenses and deductions to offset your profit to make it so that you don't owe any money. Say, for example, you sell $5,000 worth of stuff and you profited $2,000 on it, right? And so your $2,000 is what's taxable. You get your 1099 and the IRS says, okay, 20% tax bracket. Totally making this up. On $2,000 means you owe us $400, but you go and you're like, well, I spent $400 on shipping and $400 on fees and $100 on packing materials and boxes. I spent like $900 this year. And the IRS goes, oh, we're going to give you credit for all that. And now your bill is $20, right? Or zero or whatever. And so that's how you would end up not actually paying something. Now, everyone's situation is different. Your tax brackets might be different. Your expenses are different, but that is the way that it works. Getting a 1099 does not mean that you necessarily owe money. It means that you have to report your taxes and pay any taxable profit that the IRS would require you to pay after you do all of your expenses and offsets and all the deductions. A 1099 is simply the total number of sales that you did on the business period. Like, that's it. That's all that 1099 gives you. I wish I had one of mine. I probably do have one of mine in the closet in the tax boxes to show you, but it literally is just a total number of sales. What you paid for that stuff, your cost of goods, your expenses, your deductions, your travel, your lodging, your mileage, none of that is included on a 1099. So whatever your 1099 says, and then your profit and your expenses ends up being what you owe or what you may not owe. So don't freak out that you do get a 1099 or that you may get a 1099, because it does not mean you're necessarily going to have to put any money out. So that's another huge myth. It simply means you have to report your income, which you were supposed to be doing the whole time anyway, since the beginning of time, not just last year or this year. So that is the truth behind all of the 1099 nonsense and the $600. Now, there is another law that's buried inside of that Build Back Better infrastructure, whatever crap bill it is over there, that says the IRS would be able to see any $600 and up transactions that you're doing. That is totally separate. I haven't studied up on that. I don't know if that's through or not through. I don't think it's passed yet. That is a completely different thing. It has nothing to do with this at all. Also, for reference, currently, if you go withdraw 10 grand out of your bank or more, or do a $10,000 transaction, it generally triggers a red flag, and they have you fill out a form and whatever. They're thinking about letting the IRS see everything over 600. So I would be totally against that. It's not their business what I do with my money, so long as I'm paying my taxes and reporting fairly. But that is totally different. So that is separate. Keep that separate. This is simply the $600 1099 threshold for going forward from now, since January 1st through the end of this year. Everything that you do and sell that is business related and not personal will go towards that $600 threshold. You may receive the 1099. It's perfectly fine. Do not freak out. If you need Mark's help, he's below. And also, as we get closer to the end of the year, down this year, we'll of course do another interview with Mark. We'll do updates. We'll do all this stuff. But honestly, when you talk to a CPA, you're going to be shocked at how much money they can save you and how much money you may or may not owe, or how much money you may even get back. If you got kids, you got married, you bought a house, you have interest, you have credit card interest, or mileage and lodging and airfare. You flew to Vegas for the Reseller Remix and you stayed in a hotel and you bought meals and entertainment for business clients. Those are all deductible and can take that bill that you get because of the 1099 down to nothing or close to nothing or small, unless of course you made hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then it's just going to help you lower that tax bill. So don't freak out. Don't get crazy, guys. Share this video with as many people as you can. I appreciate it. Check out Mark's services below. He's a licensed CPA. He's a reseller himself. He knows exactly what he's doing. Everything that I've just told you, he can repeat to you verbatim. And he's doing $50 off his tax academy. So it's an awesome opportunity if you want to hire Mark. And with that, I'll leave you guys to it. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Please get this video around so people know what's going on. I kept it to 10 minutes so that it's a quick watch for everyone. And if you have questions, comments, or concerns, as always, it's down below in my comment section. I read them all. Or you can email me, rockstarflipper@gmail.com, and I answer all of my own emails within 24 to 48 hours, generally the same day. Thank you guys so very much. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you tomorrow.